What's up, y'all? Buff Missionary. We out here again. Walla, great state of Michigan. And we bringing you another episode. Like, subscribe, share, hit the bell so you don't miss any missions content. We're going to bring you an impromptu, we in the car on the ride to the airport podcast. Had to be done because we out here Palau repping. I got Reece. He's back again. We got Laden and Nalei in the back. Snowboard on tap as well. So we're just going to ask a few questions, have a little discussion, and have some fun with it. So how y'all doing this morning?
Cold. I think that's a better way of putting it. Just cold. Cold, we're glad the sun's out.
Hey.
At least it ain't snowing, right?
Hey, you know, I would like the snow. If it wasn't sunny, I would take the snow. But because we have the sun, I'll give it a pass. Michigan, there's like never any sun, so I'll take the snow as opposed to just the cold. You gotta do what you gotta do to survive out there.
Why isn't it like raining and snowing or like windy?
A lot of times, yes, especially windy. It's pretty rough. It's pretty rough. So, you guys, this is pretty cool because we have two students here who are about to be graduating, and another one who's pretty close, another year and some. So you talk about being out here. Last time I was with them was in 2019, my last year in Palau. I taught Reece and Nalei as seniors, and Laden was one of my juniors. And they're here now doing the same thing, just in college. So my first question is, you guys are here at Walla University, which is pretty dope. Why this school? How'd you get here? Why'd you choose to come here?
I came just because of St. Browning and Rick Johnson.
Okay.
And plus because I was coming, so it was just like best of both worlds, and I was like, might as well go.
That's what I'm talking about, man. When you say because of Zane and Bree, what do you mean by that?
Junior year they came, and like the impact that they had in my life was significant, but also because I thought that a reflection of their character was also part of their school. So I thought I might as well go because one of my best friends are going, and I was like, I have nothing to lose, and I can afford it. So I was like, wait, might as well go.
That's what I'm talking about, man. That's what's up. How about y'all?
I mean, like I think it was about my junior year where I confirmed or like made a decision for myself that wherever I go for college, it'll be some kind of Christian university. Just because I like being in the Christian environment. Mm-hmm. Just because you know how dangerous are, especially in some bigger countries, right? Yeah. And, so I always knew that I was gonna be in a Christian environment, but I didn't really know exactly where. So I just started applying left and right, talking to different people. Zane also had a significant impact, but ultimately the decision came down to like which one I felt like I would be most comfortable with. The reason why I chose Walla is because one, I knew more people here than many other universities that I got accepted to. Mm-hmm. Another one is I don't know, I still question myself for this, but I was like, you know what, I've been in like humid, hot environment my whole life.
You want to switch it up?
And sometimes I kind of regret making that decision. I'm not gonna lie, but you know, we stay positive. You know, we stay positive. Try to keep positive. You know what I'm saying? So,
oh my goodness.
But you know what? I don't regret it at all. Even though I say sometimes I do. We still making big moves out here. So.
That's what's up. Yeah, you could probably make a U-turn.
We're still making big moves out here.
Looping up. That's what I'm talking about, man. Sure. Zane 2 for 2 out here in these streets. Nalei, what's the word with you?
Me, so I grew up in a public school, and I was like, you know, being me, and like I was always like, I never thought that God was in my life, you know? Never thought about that. Until I came to, I was forced to transfer to a private school.
Rough times.
Because I had some problems, but...
Oh!
No, so they told me they're going to pay for my tuition and all, so I went to PMA. And then I had my first year there as a sophomore. It was horrible. I thought like, wow, I was expecting like maybe my life will change here. But it was not like, you know, quick. My junior year though, the next year, it felt great. Like I started seeing like, you know, I gave PMA a second started seeing like, oh, I do like it here. I do like the interaction I get here. I like how I get to do worship, like experience worship and like learn more about God. Like I like that experience and everything, right? So as I finished my years at PMA, it was like I had like a thought, like I like continuing my path. Like I had the feeling that I was getting closer to God, and I like that. So I wanted to continue being in a like an SDA school, and because I do love the like what I'm taught there, I like I like everything about it. So I wanted to learn more. Hopefully it gets better, but yeah, I chose this school because one, I know people here. I didn't want to go to a school that I didn't know anyone and start from zero.
That's fair.
Yeah, but I chose this because one, I knew people, and it also was an SDA school, and I like that. And I am having it's rough, but I'm having a good time with my relationship with God. I'm still kind of like looking around. I haven't found it yet, but it's at least it didn't grab me for like farther out. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's good. I think you're in a good place to continue to explore that, and that's what it's all about. Don't get it twisted. There's never, if anyone ever tells you that in their Christian experience they've got it all figured out and they've just got it, they're lying. Straight up, they're lying. It's a process. Some days you're gonna feel good, some days you're not. That's how it goes. But learning how to manage it in between and find a good balance, that's the key. That's the key. So it's pretty cool the reason that you guys end up deciding to come to a place like Walla Walla. Tell me a little bit about the missionaries that you engaged with in the schools in Palau and kind of some of the things you enjoyed about them.
Like from home or here in Walla Walla?
No, back at home.
Back at home.
Because I guess to give some context, what makes the mission school so unique is that there's always pretty much a new set of teachers every year. So when it comes to bonding with them, it can be tough, which goes to, it's a testament to the relationship that SMs can make within a year of being there. So kind of along those lines, your thoughts?
Well, I think since in public schools you have like the same like teachers in elementary, right? The whole time, like the whole year, and you know everybody. And then in high school, like it didn't seem like much of like a bonding time. It was just like come in and go. Here, and when I came to PMA, I was like, it was all different. Like these are people I've never seen before. I don't know any of them. I can't speak Palauan to them, so it was really weird. And at first, I thought it was kind of like, I don't know how to do this. I don't know, but I started to let me like give it a chance and like open up to them, and it was great. Like I like how they were telling me things like advice and everything in my life. Some of them I didn't want to hear, but yeah, I just like the experience. Like it's someone different, and they put something, like they gave me something different to like live with. I don't know how to explain it, but that's just me.
A quick follow-up on that. What do you think? Because it sounds like you're saying there's an experience that you get from being in the normal school system there that's completely different than what you experienced at PMA.
Yeah, it's like completely different. Because back in elementary, like it was the best years of my life because I had fun with my friends. I had fun with the teachers. Like we had like a main teacher, and she was like teaching us the whole time, and it was really great. Like I got to know them. Even like invited me to their houses and all that. So it was great. And then high school wasn't like that. And then PMA, when I transferred to PMA, it felt like elementary times. Like I started like, those moments when you stay back in the classroom, you're cleaning the classroom, just talking with the teacher. It felt like that. Like even though I wasn't staying back to clean, like I
We're not.
Talk to him now.
We know if you care or not. So if you say things like we'll be there for you if you want us to be, or if you need us to be, we know when you're actually there. It depends on what kind of relationship, the kind of relationship that you're trying to build. Depends on the things that you do. And I'll give you an example. Work hours. You know, I know we understand you got work hours, but you know, you're only there for us, but only during specific days of the week, during specific times of the day. I mean, you're just there because you have to be. Yeah. So those SMs, those teachers who actually try to reach out and connect with you outside of the classroom experience, those are the kinds of relationships that really hit it with students. It makes it so much easier to learn with them just because you have some kind of connection. So when students don't get that, all they have is that learning experience, and when they're not getting along with you, they're not necessarily going to learn as easy as they can, as they should. So it's really important to get that connection going, because in PMA, I think I had only one really good year, one mediocre one, and 2 bad ones.
Oh man,
that's pretty much it. Yeah, when looking back now, it's just that my sophomore year in high school when they brought in people who actually tried to reach out to us outside of the classroom environment. It was such a good year. So many good memories. The other ones, you know, there was some good and bad, mostly bad. But Coach Corey, you know, all those conversations we had in class, outside the class.
I know.
I was complaining, but maybe a little too much, but it was for good reason.
Yeah.
I was just not feeling it, man. And like when you don't have that connection and you're in the classroom learning from somebody who says something and does otherwise, it messes it up, man. It makes you not want to learn at all.
Yeah.
Or only to a certain extent, just to pass. You're just there.
Yeah.
You're just there. That's it. To learn, that's it.
That's so deep, man. Because what I'm hearing you say is that building a connection is everything when it comes to teaching. Like the relationship is how you teach, through relationship. So there's a lot of teachers out there, and there might be a lot of missionaries out there who get the impression that, you know, I'm just going to go show up. I'm going to be in for my office hours. I'm supposed to be at staff worship at 8. Okay, cool. I get off at 3. All right, cool. And yeah, you're doing the job, but you got to really ask yourself, like, why are you there? Are you there to do a job, or are you there to connect with people? Because it's two completely different things, but they're connected, and we get it twisted sometimes as missionaries when we go in the field. So be aware, like really be aware. And something else I wanted to ask you too, how long does it take you to know if someone cares or not?
First date.
It's the first impression.
Wow.
First date.
Wow.
Because that first day of the sophomore year, the professors that year, man, they didn't hesitate. Right after school, they hopped onto the bus with us. What are you guys doing today? Kind of fazed me a little bit. I was like, yo, what's going on? I mean, the year before that wasn't that bad, but like nothing like that ever happened. So to know that they're actually trying to reach out and trying to be there with us, not just for the learning experience, but just to try and connect with us. The effort, you can really see it.
Yeah.
Not just if you guys ever need me, I'll be there for you.
Right.
That's it. I won't see you for the rest of the day. Like, come on now.
That's a good point, man. For missionaries out there in the field, don't be like, it is one thing to say, oh, you know, I got you whenever you need it, but it's another thing to just be there and show up. Like, take the initiative. And I like to look at it this way. If you've already taken the initiative to go and choose to serve, don't get out there into the mission field and then be like, hey guys, I'm here. If you need me, come see me. No, keep going. You already decided to go there. So once you get there, keep going and keep reaching out to the people, keep building relationships. And I can guarantee you, when we talk about good years versus not so great years and relationship building and people who didn't, those who cared and those who didn't, a lot of that came down to people who decided to take initiative instead of kind of waiting around to see what was going to happen. So when you're out there as a missionary and you decide to take the initiative, I can guarantee everything may not be the easiest for you in your experience, but because you're continuing to take initiative, you're always going to be able to track onto something that's going to give you a positive experience. How about you, Reece?
So I came from a Catholic background, so it was a little different coming to an SDA background because you guys have like worships practically after, like in the beginning of every class.
Mm-hmm.
So it was kind of weird because the way we worship is like beginning, lunchtime, and then after school, or like before the end of the school.
Mm-hmm.
So when I first came into the school, I was like, we have worships every like classroom, like every different class, and I was like, okay, this is just new. Well, freshman year was a blur for me, just because like I don't know, it's just I can't really point to one experience and be like, oh yeah, I remember that freshman year. And then sophomore, yeah, and then sophomore year was like, okay, it didn't get any better, but it didn't get. I guess it kind of got worse, but we moved on to like junior year. The surprise for me in the junior was one of my best friends. Always, family is very involved with missionaries, and they want to give them the ability to like have some fun time and enjoyment in the community and just outside of school.
Mm-hmm.
And when my best friend always hosts them, I see them often. The ones that they choose to host.
Mm-hmm.
And the people that I see often was like, in particular, was like Bree Johnson, Evelyn, and Rogers.
Mm-hmm.
And because I saw them often, we were able to talk, connect outside of school. But the reason why it was different from like the previous years was because like there were times that my best friend was telling me they were looking for you, or like the essence were actually inquiring where I was, what I was doing. Can I hang out with them? And
They were always looking for you, bro.
Yeah, so it was just like, it was a different experience because like, oh, I'm like, I should be there because I'm not always with my best friend because it's, you know, it's his house, his family, and they always do their own thing.
Mm-hmm.
But it became to the point where like, because they're asking for me, my best friend's parents were like asking for me to be there. And then when my mom heard that, she's like, you gotta go there. And I was like, I am going regardless.
That's what I'm talking about, man.
And just from that one moment where like, it started from there, like, it just exponentiates, right? Because like now I'm hanging out with them more, and because I'm more involved with them, my best friend's parents was like, okay, you can spend the night, or we're gonna go to Rock Island together, and like we're gonna do all these things, and just try and ask your mom if you could. My mom is pretty much like a person, if they care about you and they're good for you, like they're a person that's right for you, you go. So I just kept on going, and it just kept on getting better for me. And it was kind of hard because like this is a moment where when I see them leave, like after school year, like you actually feel the most. Like I literally go there and, you know, say goodbye to them at the airport. Like you feel the impact. And then at that moment, I remember I was mentioning, you probably might see me at that school too, like those two in particular. And because of that, it's just like, it's a snowball effect, right? I'm here in Walla because of them, and like it wouldn't be what it is if they were like less involved in my life. Right?
Wow.
So, I mean, that's just how I feel personally. But, I don't know, it's obvious when the SMs come and try and make most of their experience with us, as opposed to being more of themselves. Like, it shows. You can tell already. You don't really need to, like, be oblivious to it. Like, it's just obvious, just like they mentioned day one. Like, you can just tell. So, that was just my experience for the most part.
Yeah, that's deep, man. And we've kind of been talking around it a little bit here and there, but you've noticed when we talk about good years versus mediocrity versus not good and bad, like we're not talking about the quality of education because everybody showed up and did their job as far as teaching was concerned. What we're talking about is the relationship and how students felt like, hey, these people are here for me, not for themselves. And that's a complete game changer when it comes to the mission field. I know a lot of times for people, it can seem like a thing you want to check off your list. Like, this is an adventure, or I went to this state, or I did that, I traveled to that country. This is not what that is. Like, not at all. If you decide to do it, make sure that you enjoy all the adventure through the lens of the people you go to share it with. Not just for yourself, because that's what's going to make your experience worth it, valuable. That's what's going to make other people appreciate the work that you're doing, which is going to give you more validation in being there, and it's what's going to have the greatest impact on the community that you go to serve in. So, you know, we keep it real out here, and I've already kind of introduced the topic, but from the perspective of students in the schools taught by missionaries, you don't have to say any names, all right? We don't have to, but I want you guys to keep it real with some of the things. Give me an example or two of some things that you saw missionaries do that didn't really impact students in a good way, maybe rubbed them the wrong way, or were just kind of turn-offs for you guys.
I got a big one.
Okay.
It was I think it was I forget if it was my senior year or my junior year. I think it was my junior year. Of course, you know, there's certain rules that the students have to abide by. Sometimes you kind of like slack off, and you kind of go against the rules a little bit sometimes, right? So one of my friends and I, we were walking down the hall, and back in PMA, one of the rules was, you're not allowed to chew gum on campus, right? Mind you, this man just had boiled eggs for breakfast. So I was like, all right.
In other words, he needed some gum.
I mean, it's reasonable, but just keep it low key, right?
Mm-hmm.
So we were walking down the hall, and we ran into three of our teachers just chilling in the hallway. We talked to them for a little bit, and one of the teachers, she kind of noticed that he was chewing gum. And one of the things about like when you're talking to a teacher, sometimes you kind of like pick at each other, like making jokes at each other. So it's all fun and games. Mm-hmm. But then so one of them, she caught my friend like chewing gum a little bit, and instead of like saying, how the kind of teachers that I kind of appreciate is like they consolidate with you if you ever get in trouble, right?
Yeah.
These guys, man, and I really saw it, man. I was almost ticked off by it. Instead of like being like, hey, like I see that you chewing gum, like breaking the rules. I get it. You had breakfast. You want to make sure your breath is fresh. You know what I'm saying?
But we talking in class and stuff.
Yeah,
Come
right.
on
You know
now.
what I'm saying? But they ended up like laughing at him for catching him. We were like, we just caught you in trouble. You know what I'm saying?
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
That's not good.
Yeah.
Dang.
That was the mood of the situation.
Dang.
Like instead, they were all laughing, and I was like, all right, we're out of here. And I just grabbed his shirt and I said, we're getting that out of here.
Dang.
Man.
That's messed up.
I don't want to name names, man, but it was unexpected from the most unexpected people. I gotta tell you.
Wow.
Situations like that.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah.
Reece, Nalei, what you guys got? That's crazy right there.
Still thinking.
Okay.
I guess for me, I'm like a type of person who likes to engage with someone, right? So like I'll go first. Like if I have to make the move, I'll talk first, right? So that's how I make friends. I go and talk to them, and if they engage back, then I know they're a real one, right? There were some that I tried to do that with. I went up to them, tried to get to know them, but they didn't seem like they were trying to get to know me. So it was kind of one-sided. Those kinds, like one-sided ones, I don't feel comfortable with. It just makes me feel like, oh, it's okay. You don't have to get to know me. Like, it kind of sucks, but it is what it is. And it, like, when it's something like that, like, it just puts a first impression to me. Like, it just makes me look, and it's kind of bad of me to like think of it like that way. But it just hurts, like sometimes I'm just like, probably they just had a rough day, they just didn't want to know me. But if I do it again and it happens again, then I know for sure, like, oh, it wasn't
That's just who they are.
Yeah. So there were a couple who were like that, where I engaged again, like I talked to them again, try to get to know them, but it was like flat, like it was flat, like there was nothing I was getting back. So that shows me that they don't like they're not putting enough effort to like get to know me, and I don't like that kind of like, I don't like those kinds of people, I just don't vibe with them. Other times it's just like those who actually vibe, like they're like, I don't know, there's something about me, like I sense something's like not right, There was a couple people that I just felt like wasn't there. Like, it was just kind of a weird feeling. And usually these kinds of people are like always like, they're so nice to you and all that. Sometimes a little too nice, and you kind of get sus, like because they're nice for out of nowhere, you know. And
what you're trying to say is fake.
Fake, yes, fake people.
Let's call it what it is.
Yeah, let's be real. Fake people out there. Yeah, so like I don't like that. Like, I'd rather have you say it straight up to me, tell me how you really feel, instead of being like covering it up. And, you know, just trying to get me like, ooh, I want to be with you. I want to talk to you. But then I find out, oh, you were just doing that just so you can get stuff from me. You know? No. But yeah, that. And then lastly is probably when I first went to PMA. I don't want to say like who, but it felt like all of them. Like, it felt like all of them like looked down upon me because I was a Palauan or something, or I came from a public school. So I'm like,
your sophomore year?
Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah. So it felt like, oh, let's watch her because she came from public, or you know, it felt like I was like treated as like a 5-year-old who's been into a lot of trouble, like. And it was kind of sucks because like I came in and you guys literally judged me the first day. It felt too wrong. But those are just the things I don't like about the SMs who come through. If they give me that kind of vibe, it's not really what I like, you know. But at least not all of them are like that, you know.
And another thing.
Yeah.
Another thing that don't come in with an ego.
Hey.
Thinking that you're from America, so you know what's right and what's, you know. Don't come in thinking like you know everything. Because there's a lot of situations where you're bringing an ego, acting like, you know, this is a small country. You probably don't know any better. And you actually do, especially when it comes to morals.
Yeah.
Like, don't think, like, don't come in thinking like, you know better. Because first of all, we're probably not even that far off in age. Like, come on.
And we learn as much as they learn. Like,
That's true.
It's nothing different.
That's such a good point. Like, what a lot of people don't realize going into different mission fields is America's probably going to be more liberal. Even though we talk about conservative and liberal here in the States, even conservative is liberal compared to a lot of places overseas. So coming in with whatever you think your understanding of that is and trying to impose it on other people without actually getting to know the other people is obviously not good in any situation, but especially not good if it's a mission situation where it's like you come in under the guise of I'm trying to help you. That's crazy. Now, excuse me, I got a couple different things I wanted to respond to that you guys mentioned. First, like, if people are coming in there looking down, and again, these students are intelligent. Shoot, man, I need water. It's in the back. It's all good. We'll make it through. Like, the students know, and if you're coming into somewhere with the mentality of I'm going to go to that less fortunate place, if ever that's the thought process you have, let me go to. And I've heard this before. Some people will be like, oh, I want to decide where to go, but I want to go to this place because they're worse off than the other place. You have to really be careful about your mindset when you go into that. If you're going in trying to say, where can I be the biggest benefit? It might be because my ego is telling me that I have more to offer in this place because there's so much bigger of a gap between me and where they are. I have to be careful going in to a situation like that because it can be very easy for me to present myself in that way, and they know they can sense that. So the reason I'm saying that is, at the end of the day, you'd want to get down and be on the level with the people regardless of wherever they are. It doesn't matter if you're serving up or serving down. None of that even matters. It should never be a consideration. If you choose to go serve, match the people that you go to serve, find out the things that they need, and then go from there. It should never be a situation where you're coming in saying, I'm bringing all of this good stuff. And I'll be honest with you, I'm telling you this from my own experience because it would have been Reece's freshman year. That's the mentality that I brought as a Bible teacher. That's why I struggled in the first couple weeks of teaching, making the connection, thinking that I had all the answers to what I wanted, all these great stuff I wanted the students to learn. And then I had to pump the brakes on that. I talked about it at Vespers this weekend when a student raised their hand and asked me, who's David? It was a real check for me. And I'm glad that I listened and got it and said, you know what, forget this. We're just gonna go with asking questions, and whatever you want to know, that's what we're going to talk about. And we just went from there. That's literally what changed my entire experience there. And I'm glad I picked up on it quick. But I'm telling you guys this, and the students are telling you this, so that if you go into this experience, you already know that from the jump. And I'll be honest with you, this is a skill that in a world that's being more dominated by social media, people are lacking. The idea of how to really read other people and relate to them personally. Body language is 90% of communication, and when everything starts going to social media, you're losing the majority of communication. So as a skill set, being able to read people and respond to them in an intelligent way, society is losing that. So that's something that doesn't just apply out in the mission field, but it applies to you right here, right now, wherever you are listening to this. Now, the other thing, Laden brought up a point about people. Man, that story took a left turn. I didn't expect it to go there at all. I didn't expect that. I thought there were going to be more like, this is the letter of the law and da-da-da-da, because you'd mentioned like...
And these are some of the older SMs too.
It's not the look. It's not the look. And there's so many levels to this. So first, when it comes to enforcing rules and things like that, obviously rules are rules. We acknowledge that. But the thing is, can you level with someone and see what their experience is? I'll give you an example. There are students that I had to interact with at PMA who I was the one who had to go searching through cars looking for drug paraphernalia and all this kind of stuff. And yet, a lot of those students I still have great relationships with today because of how I handled the situation. It was never I found this, so you're evil and you're going to hell. And it was never oh shoot, you were dumb enough to do this? Ha ha ha, I'm gonna laugh at you. It was never any of that. It was, what is the student going through that's causing this? And how can I still be a help in the midst of what I see, even though it's a problem? If you can do that, then you focus on the relationship instead of the problem or the issue at hand, and you can still be a benefit to someone in a place where they obviously need it. So it comes back to relationship. That's kind of the theme of this whole thing. But the other part is, when you talk about lack of professional, and especially if there's not a relationship there, I can tell you, there's students that I've come across who are doing things that they weren't supposed to, and I might have laughed and joked with them about it. But I could only do it if I had a relationship with them. It could never come from the place of, oh, I got you, and now I'm gonna laugh at you because I got you. No, it's something like, oh man, come on. We have a relationship. I can lean on that, and then I can use the joke to reinforce better behavior the next time. But if there's none of that there, and I'm just gonna come out, it's just never the look. It's never the look. So y'all are here to hear. Please, take these things in mind. It can be easy to get the savior complex coming from home, which is America for me, and feeling like you're going to bring all the good stuff and all this great knowledge to all these other places. But you got to put that aside. You got to be humble. You got to blow up the ego and just realize, I'm going here to serve. How can I serve? Start with that question. I wouldn't even start with the question, what can I give? Because then you start looking at the things that you have to give. Just ask how you can serve, and then look at the people, and they'll tell you what they need. And then you can go from there. All right, Reece, what do you think?
I mean, if I have to think about bad experiences, I guess one comes to mind when we had a bus ride when we head back after school, and then me and my friends are doing whatever we're doing, probably playing games on our phones or something, and then we're playing together and we're just enjoying. And then when we don't have a relationship with a teacher, and he just comes in and includes himself into the group. And then and then we all look at him and we're just like, we don't know how to respond because he can be disrespectful. So we just look at him, and then like he starts talking like he's our best friend, and then we're just like, we don't. And then we're on our phone, so we're just messaging. We're like, what is happening right now? It's a bad experience in the sense that like we don't know you, and if you never tried to like talk to us before and you just come into our group, don't expect a warm welcome, because if we know you and we have a good relationship, we'll give as much as you give us. So we're willing to give you like a two-way street. But if it's just like we don't know you at all, you just come in, well, don't expect like, oh, you're your best friend. No, we're just gonna ignore you. I don't know if it's a social cue, but it's just like we don't know you, so we're just not gonna like bother with you. We're not gonna even entertain the fact that you're like our friend. We're just not like that. We're just gonna be our own thing.
You're touching on something, and you hit the nail on the head. It is a social cue, and it's a big one, and it's another one of these things that's really taking a hit with the rise of social media and people being stuck in the keys and screens all the time. Look, this is life advice, all right? Not just missionary advice, life advice. I'm hitting you with it right here. If you're trying to ingratiate yourself to a group, don't go in talking. Go in listening. Go in listening. Sit there, observe, and respond when they ask you, when they invite you into the conversation. Don't go into a group and start trying to dominate stuff and you don't even know who these people are. All right? That's never going to look good. People are always going to look at you funny, and it's not even because there's something wrong with them, it's because there's something wrong with you. All right? It's a social cue. Pick up on that. So, like, let's take Twitter and YouTube comments and social media comments. Anybody can butt in anyone's conversation at any time, and people will respond. Because you're not seeing anyone, there's no accountability, you can get away with whatever you want. It's not like that when you engage with people in person. All right? You go in, you listen, you hear what the people are saying. If they ask you, you can respond. Don't go in trying to one-up everything that you hear people saying. Nobody wants to talk to you if that's what you do. All right? So the way that we communicate in society with real people is light years different from what we've been getting used to with social media. And that applies to the mission field as well. Okay. I forgot the next question I was going to ask. But here we go. So we talked a little bit about the ups and kind of the downs. What's some general advice that you would give people, or encouragement that you would give people thinking about deciding to be a missionary?
You'd be surprised at the kind of impact you could have.
Say that again.
You'd be surprised on the kind of impact you could have on like kids' lives when you really try and, this is just a personal thing I like about SM. If they try to relate to your situation, even though it seems almost impossible that you can relate, you actually do. Even though you live in two different countries, other ends of the world, different times, you relate in some kind of way. Whether it's, of course, you never have the same experience, but it's related in some way. So when students see that you kind of like relate, when students see that you're trying to relate, it kind of like opens a door. It kind of opens a door for you as a missionary to try and make some kind of, help them learn, help them build, help them go towards that relationship with God that everybody's looking for. You know what I mean? It makes it easier. Once that door is open, anything is possible. And I'm out here in Washington. I grew up in Palau. Well, like, what am I doing?
Because somebody tried. Because someone tried to relate.
They actually meant their word when they said, "I'll be there."
I like that.
Because they actually tried. I saw that they were trying to relate with me, and they did. I see how I started picturing myself in their situation. Like, that's why I'm in Washington. Like, hey, if he's in Washington, I can do it.
That's what I'm talking about.
If I'm in college, I can get there. I can get through it. And here I am, year 3, a year out. Come on.
It's crazy.
I was just in Palau like 4 years ago. It's insane.
That's what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
Nalei, what you got?
I think it's kind of similar to his. I feel like my advice is be real. Like, just come in, like, because I like real people. Like, when they start opening up, and I see like, oh my, I've done those things, or like we've been through the same, you know, like it's nice, like we have something to talk about now, like, you know. So like a lot of people back here in Walla Walla, like the deans, some of the professors, they open up and they're like, yeah, like you're not alone in this, like we all gone through that, and like they tell me what they did to either fix it or what, and it's like, wow, amazing, like we can, like, thank you for letting me know that. Now I can like learn from that or what, and like, you know, it's nice. So just be real, like don't come out like, oh, I gotta be all this, I gotta show them how it is, how the world works, but no, like just come in and tell me like we're the same, we got it together, and we can push through this together, like, you know, something like that.
I like that. That's good stuff. How about you, Reece?
I think the definition of missionary is very skewed. I don't think you have to be ready to go. So the fact that you make the effort to go wherever you decide, I think that's more than enough that we could ask of you. Because if Essence never came to our school, we wouldn't have a school, essentially. So the fact is like, if you would just take the step to actually go to a school, regardless which you're doing a missionary work for, just know that like, because you took that step, that's all you need to know, that that's what missionary is. And the fact that you're there is what we like enjoy, and we actually like are looking forward to. But don't expect to be perfect and go in and be like, I have everything down. No, it's just show up and be realistic, and also just make sure that you're coming into an environment that you don't know, and try to learn about us, because we're willing to tell you as much as you want to tell us. But once you start like thinking that you're going to change the world, well, that's kind of a problem. I don't think that's realistic.
Hey man, my people out here spitting facts. I'm gonna wrap it up with this. You take the advice that you heard here. If it comes to you wanting to be a missionary, like, go into a place and be willing to try. You don't have to be perfect. The perfect missionary doesn't exist. All right. It's a world of imperfect people. And if you make the attempt, oftentimes that's all it takes, is making the attempt to reach out to someone, to relate to them in a positive way. And that can make a difference. These students here, my students are here now at Walla Walla because of the impact of missionaries. Trying, not being perfect, but trying. Being real, being able to share their experience and say, hey, you know what? This spiritual thing that we talk about, it can actually connect with my real life. When we as Christians try to put up this front like we can never make mistakes, that we've never made mistakes before, and all that kind of thing, we're separating the spirituality from the real life experience. All right? That's for all Christians and anybody out there who's thinking about this. Don't be fooled by people who try to act like there's no mistakes and that the Christian life is all about being perfect. That doesn't exist. We live in an imperfect world. Every single one of us is a sinner. Only person in the Bible I know of who is perfect is Jesus. And as far as I know, ain't none of us him. All right? So that means all of us have made mistakes and all of us are imperfect. But that means we all have a shared experience. Christians have the same shared experience as everyone else who's making other mistakes. We can't afford to separate that. Jesus came to an imperfect world to have relationships with imperfect people. He tried, and people were inspired by that, and they wanted to be like him. That's what we can do in the mission field, and we can learn that from other people who try to relate to us as missionaries. So it's give, it's take, and it's not about being perfect. It's about just making the attempt. And that's a different definition of mission that I've heard probably in all that I've done the podcast so far. Mission is just trying to show up. I like that. We keep it simple. Yeah, just try to show up.
And actually leaving, coming to where we're going to where we're gonna go, is just half of it. It's not even the whole thing. You can say that you're trying by just like coming to the new country, but like you're being a missionary to try and like help these kids. It's not about just showing up in the country. You got to show up for them too.
That's right.
So it's all about trying.
I like that. It's very easy for us to say, I'm going to Palau,
Exactly.
and then once I've got to Palau, I've accomplished my goal. It's easy to do that.
Not even half. That's a third.
Yeah. Like, if we go to a place, you're not going to a place, you're going to a group of people. So never forget that. relate to the people, be real with them, and they'll be real with you. You'll have an enjoyable experience. Our recommendation, we know that these schools, they need missionaries to survive and to operate, and we want you to go out there and be a part of that. But hey, Reece, Laden, Nalei, thank you for sharing some of your thoughts here on this episode, impromptu. We out here on the road. We're probably a few minutes from the airport right now. I'm not really sure. But hey, we out here.
For the feature, man.
Of course, man. You know how we roll. There's no way I was going to leave here without getting this. There's no way. So, hey, y'all out there, like, subscribe, and share. They're on social media, too. You can see what they're up to.
We out.
And hit that bell. You know what I'm saying? Don't miss any future content. But until then, remember, to exist is not enough. We out here to be out here. So be real, be willing to give it a try, and be a missionary. All right, y'all. Peace.